Welcome back to the Now Morning Show. Well, Sweet 100 FM just got a whole lot sweeter. The Don, the man with the voice, popular radio personality, event host, and media professional, Adrian Don Mora, has joined Sweet 100 FM. His set, The Smooth Overdrive, can be heard on the station from Mondays to Fridays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And he joins us this morning to talk more about it. Adrian Don Mora, you're here with us in studio. Good morning.
Yes, I am. Good morning. It's good to be here.
Yeah.
And let me say to you, Kimberly, Natasha, and Rokas, what an excellent job you guys are doing
my gosh.
on the Now Morning
Thank
Show.
You so much. Can we save that clip? Remember to save it. We got it from Adrian Don Mora himself. Mr. Mora, it is truly a pleasure to sit here opposite you, because I know on mornings, sometimes coming home on evenings, you would be the voice I'd be hearing in the car coming home or even going to school. So it really is a pleasure to have you sit opposite me. But let's go back a bit. I understand that you are actually back at your old stomping ground. You used to be at TBC.
Yes. And I smiled the first time I came. I looked to the back. Well, I know Digicel is in the back there now.
Yes.
And, but just the thought of being on the same basic compound, it kind of takes me back to that very first day I walked into Radio Trinidad.
Wow.
So it's nice to be here.
It's nice to be back.
It's like it's family pie across the road.
Yes.
When I walked across, you say, "Hey, you're back in the neighborhood." I say, "Yes." So it was that kind of joy, and it's good to be back on radio. I mean, it's been a while, and I always thought radio is where I needed to be, where I wanted to be.
Yeah.
I love radio. I love music.
Well, let's pause there and go back. Where were you? You were missing from radio for a few years.
Well, when my previous employer had the wisdom to change the format of the frequency that I was on, they sent everybody home. So basically, I was in the wilderness. I started to do some other things. Well, of course, COVID came around as well. So there were there was a lot of uncertainty around the work landscape, so to speak. So I still did my voicing, my freelance voicing, corporate stuff. I ended up at TTPS for a little while as the audiovisual manager, the audiovisual unit. So that was different, but very good until we were unceremoniously sent over as well. So it was that kind of thing.
You're addressing the elephant in the room without me even going there. So continue. Yes.
No. I mean, and that was it. Yeah.
Yes.
So I did some production work post that AV stint. Did some script writing and things like that for one of the oil exploration companies. So that was one of the angles that I took. But my hope to be back on radio was always there, and I was having conversations with Brian and Mark over a period of time. And eventually they returned the call. And here I am.
And here you are.
Here I am.
But even when because you described it as being out in the wilderness, so even when you were out in the wilderness, were other radio frequencies calling to see if they can poach you, if they can get you?
I mean, and I somehow I thought, okay, well, Adrian Don Mora, but apparently I was not as good as I thought I was, because, there was no one seemed to want to bite. So that was kind of confusing for me at the time as well. So, but you keep the faith and you keep hope alive. Faith without hope can never become real.
Of course. And here you are.
Yeah, and here I am. And I have to say, it's good to be back. It's really good to be back. When you hear comments like, boy, you're sounding like you was never off the air,
true.
And you were born to do this. And, little things like that, nice messages then. And, it kind of makes you feel like, okay, you're doing something, and you're doing something well.
Yeah. So then are you going to retire in radio?
Retire? You mean...
Tell me, you don't understand the word. You don't understand the word.
Retire in radio.
Yeah. So is this going to be the last, how can I put it, sort of post for Adrian Don Mora? Yes, you do your voicing. Yes, you do your production. But is this it? Because I know that you haven't touched on TV too much. Or do you see yourself going into TV?
Well, Actually, I tried once, I auditioned for news and so on. I hope to work on TTT
Right.
at some point. Maybe I have this. Anyway, I don't want to give away the idea, but I have this idea for television that I think can work. So hopefully, I can have a discussion with the higher ups at some point with regard to that. But
So it's really the final stuff, media. That's it,
So if I can do both, do the radio, have a presence on television, who knows? It's all about diversifying and strengthening your brand, I guess.
Yeah.
That. I love media, I love media. I love music, I love sports. West Indies won yesterday.
Woo, by 4 runs.
Jamaica, the first Caribbean team to make it to the knockout stage of the World Cup and the Commonwealth Games that we just heard about, here in TNT.
So
it's
to confirm,
fantastic.
in the local media space, there will always be Adrian Don Mora. Whether it's radio, whether it's TV, whether it's production, there will always be you in that space.
Yeah, I think I need radio. I need media to survive. I need. I can't see myself not being in that space.
Yeah.
And if I do a good job or a good enough job, I think media would want to need me in that space as well. Because when we look at the media landscape and we see how radio has gone, you hear these stories, boy. Radio is not like how it used to be, the presenters, But then things evolve, and the fact that people listen means something is happening that people want to hear.
Yeah.
But there is that side of radio that can be informative, can be a little more. Let's say the days of the Bobby Thomases and the Bob Gittins and that kind of radio, there still has a presence for that. And how you present music and how you do things can still have that base in good quality radio and good quality diction and everything.
Well, I like that you mentioned that as well, because you are right, and we have all heard it. The presenters are not like they used to, the personalities are not as they used to, and that sort of thing. Do you see yourself maybe teaching, maybe mentoring what you know to the younger ones coming up?
Well, I think I've done it informally, I mean, over the past, if you say like in an official capacity where we start a school or I start a school, or I join one of the media schools. I know there are a few out there. Maybe. But anyone who wants any kind of assistance or any kind of advice, I mean, I've done it over the years. I've done it with several newbies in the business who have come into my space. And I can do that. I mean, whether I can make it a revenue earner, that's another question.
Yes.
It's very possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think we'll end it there for now. Mr. Don Mora.
We're going already? That's it?
That's it. Just tell the viewers where they can find you. You feel like we now start.
Yeah. Have anybody for me to interview?
Tell the viewers where they can find you. What times?
3 to 6 p.m. Smooth Overdrive 100.1.
Yes.
So far, so good. This is my second week.
Yes.
Today wraps up exactly 2 weeks back on radio, and I'm at home. I feel so at home.
Yeah. Well, welcome home.
Happy.
Or welcome back.
Thank you so very much.
And that, of course, is Mr. Adrian Don Mora. As you heard it from him, this is his second week. He is back in this space, but he's also back on radio right here on Sweet 100. Remember, you can catch the Overdrive, the Smooth Overdrive, Mondays to Friday from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. with Mr. Adrian Don Mora. You're on the Now Morning Show. We're going to take a break and be right back. But up next, we have your birthdays. Stay with us.